Welcome back everyone to Mixed Media Dude. Today I'm going to start off with just a really quick time lapse of covering the surface, and today we're going to talk about how to put figures into a landscape. So I started with acrylic, and here I am kind of sprinkling out some rubbing alcohol, which brings some texture into the composition. And as you can see, we're starting with an abstracted landscape, and really there's no landscape to speak of to start. I'm just trying to build up a surface with different lines, shapes, color. Here's some walnut ink I'm bringing in, and I'm going to let that go wet on wet, the wet walnut in directly into the wet acrylic. And here I'm going to bring a can, which you've seen me do in other videos, and just kind of make some shapes, make some space. No real idea to start with, as usual. And I've talked about that many times in my videos of kind of starting with some abstraction and then moving forward. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring some figures into this landscape. I'm working from a sketchbook of a couple of people that I did a few years back, and I often kind of recycle some of my other paintings. I may not take the entire thing, but maybe some people from it that I also put in another area. So I also like to sketch when I'm out and about and travel or outside at times. And in addition to what I'm doing here, I also the video is called Generational Trauma, and it's been kind of a thing I've been thinking about lately. Of course, I work with students, and sometimes the trauma they've experienced comes out in their work, and it can come out intentionally or sometimes subconsciously. And for me today, I'm kind of looking back on some of my own generational situations within my own family. And I won't go into great detail on that, but there were definitely some troubles that were had by some in my family, and I wanted to kind of investigate that, what that does as we go forward. Can your ancestors kind of leave some baggage for you to deal with later on, even though you may have not directly experienced it? Does it seep into your psyche? Anyway, that's some of the ideas I was thinking about when I started this piece. This is a water-soluble pastel that I started with, and now I'm bringing some water into it to kind of blend. And these figures will transform quite a bit as I go towards the end. But I start with a very rough sketch, and I'm not thinking about modeling it too much yet. Now I'm going to bring some acrylic back over the water-soluble pastel, and that's the great thing about these two mediums. I love to sketch with the pastel first and then bring the acrylic into it. It really gives you a lot of versatility. And just kind of going over some of the lines I drew, getting more of an abstracted look. I don't want it to be completely realistic, but I'm just trying to get an impression of the two figures that I'm trying to attempt here. I think all of us have family secrets, and once again, that's kind of an impression I'm trying to grasp at as I do these figures. I definitely have my own stories, but I'm sure you probably have some as well. Initially, I thought generational trauma was something that you kind of think about as you get older. But after working with younger people, I've realized that it can happen pretty early, and they're fully ready to investigate it at a much earlier age. So yeah, that's something that I think many of us deal with, and I think art's a great vehicle to look at some of those issues. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit. I added some more shaded features to those two characters in the foreground, but now I'm going to move ahead a little bit, and I'm going to go over here to the right side of the image. Now I'm kind of dealing with balance issues, compositional issues, where right now the left-hand side of the paper is a little heavier, so in the upper right, I'm going to bring in some kind of structure, maybe an older decayed barn. I'm not sure. It could be a house, but we'll see how this evolves as we go forward. This is completely from imagination as I try to guess where this trauma is coming from. Still working in acrylic, and I'm bringing in some darker blue to kind of give that structure a place to sit. And behind it, I'm going to bring in some vegetation, some trees, which will hopefully bring that house more forward. I'm going to try to keep that a lighter shade as I bring in the shadows with the blue. Okay, now I'm going to go back over to the upper left and give some kind of upside down triangle balance where the people at the bottom kind of form the tip of an upside down triangle. The tree line over here on the left I'm painting gives it a little more weight to balance off the right, but you don't want to put the figures in the middle, dead in the middle, so I've got them a little to the left to give it more of an asymmetrical balance. Up above, I'm going to maybe bring in another tree line back in the distance. As I go through this, I hope you realize I'm trying to address all sides of the composition as I work. And I try to do it all at one time instead of trying to focus on one part of the painting. That can often lead to trapping you into certain areas. So I like to keep it really loose until right at the beginning. So I'm going back down at the bottom, bringing some darker blue up into and towards that structure. And hopefully that will lead your eye into that on that side of the page. Okay, once again, still working with highlighting. I want to get some brighter white onto that side. It's looking more and more like a barn at this point. And that will maybe, once again, hopefully bring that surface more forward and let the other part of the barn recede. Also bringing a little bit of yellow that it kind of blends with the blue to make a green there in the foreground, and trying to bring that throughout to the left side as well. And since I brought some of that white into the barn, I'm going to go back into the figures, and I'm going to kind of boost the highlights in the face. So I'm bringing in a thicker acrylic and just going in there and kind of bringing that highlight in. And now this is my favorite part of the painting. I'm probably about 3/4 done, but this is where I start to really kind of pick at it. And I try to bring more texture in certain areas, more shades in certain areas, more highlights in certain areas. And that kind of builds the painting, gives it a stronger structure. And this is a time also you can experiment with different widths of line, different shades of the light tint maybe you're putting on the arms or the face. And now I'm going to get closer up and show you just a little bit of detail I'm going to do. I brought a Prismacolor pencil in, and I'm going to go back into those acrylic marks I made and just kind of emphasize certain streaks and lines in the hair, maybe solidify some of the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Here I'm just kind of going around and outlining the clothing. And I'm going to switch over to the barn and bring in some windows and doors, perhaps. And I'm using an oil pastel on this. So as we get to the end, I'm once again trying to build the drama as much as I can, since I'm really kind of trying to investigate generational trauma. Perhaps even the barn is traumatized. But I'm trying to bring that whole feeling into the picture. And I think with the abstraction combined with the impressions of the figures I made, hopefully that lends itself into the idea I'm trying to make. So if you like this video today, please subscribe, like, drop comments, tell me more about what you think about when you make work. Anyway, here's the final, and you can see I've added a tree in the middle to add even more balance to the center of the composition. And I may add more to this, I may not, but right now I think I'm fairly happy with it. You can see I also put blades of grass at the right. Anyway, thanks for watching today, and I will see you next time.